Welcome to the UK Fantasy Football Show, Goal's weekly podcast that discusses many of football fans' favourite pastime. We'll be reacting to the results of Gameweek 14, talking about the Managerial merry-go-round, and revealing our teams for Gameweek 15, which for this week is a midweek match. I think this is the first midweek one we've had so far, isn't it? Of the game weeks.
The full slot, yeah.
Yeah. So lots of exciting times. For the UK listeners who listen to this podcast, they'll be able to watch it on Amazon for the first time. Bit something different for UK football fans. Everything on Amazon. We've been having a look back at Game Week 14, so the one that's just gone at the weekend. I think it's safe to say we all did okay without doing spectacular. Dave, you were just slagging off your team before we started. Are you still sick of your team?
Yeah, there's a bit of an identity crisis going on with my team, but it's it's another, what was it, average points 51 this week, wasn't it? And I got 45.
You're below
so
average.
I'm below.
Average. This is the first time in a while I've been below average. But your team there doesn't look too bad. I mean, Delafeo is still a horrific choice, and that will haunt you.
I blame Flores for that, and I asked Watford to get rid of him just so Delafeo could shine. As his time is now running out, if I'm going to make those 4 points off you.
Yeah.
What does he need? 12 points?
Yeah.
Did we say? So he's got 2. Can I triple captain him?
I'm a bit confused by these teams, right? So we're looking at the website now. Cantwell is your third sub. He's got 8 points, right? Why has he not come into your team?
That's what I thought. Did Rico?
Rico played.
No, he didn't play. It says 0 minutes.
He did play.
Oh, points. I'm looking at the wrong column. See, there you go. All this time.
He's got 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that explains that then. So, that's unfortunate. I thought Cantwell was going to come in for you.
It was. I did think Rico hadn't played, though, because I just saw he had 0 points.
Yeah.
But then I didn't question the system because I thought it was probably right, and I'm wrong.
Well, I'm just used to Rico getting you like 5 or 6 points every week. Every time I look at Rico, he's chugging away.
Yeah.
For a little while, he was your star player.
Cantwell's all right, actually, and obviously Pookie scored.
He did,
so there's a lot of people asking, is it time to get back on that? But
nope.
The Pookie hype train.
Yeah. I mean, I've got Delafeu up front, haven't I? So I could swap him out, I suppose, for Pookie. But
who do we think is the most transferred in player this game week?
Dele Alli.
It is. Nailed it first time. 126,000 so far, which is like not even 24 hours this game week so far. So plenty of people flooding towards him. Raul Jimenez.
How many smart Alex bought him in the previous week?
I can't give you in fact, I can give you an exact.
You're putting yourself
total.
In that category.
Well, I mean, I got him in last week. So
121,000 smart Alex.
Boom.
Gonna count yourself among those.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was destined to blossom under Mourinho. It wasn't destined, perhaps, but it's maybe a bit strong. But he's got scored two the previous 2 matches, and then you hark back to that not last season because he was rubbish and he was injured a lot, but the season before I think he scored 18, set up 10. That's big numbers.
Yeah.
So if he's going to be played and he seems to be enjoying it under Moo, then all aboard the Alley train.
See, I feel a little bit different. I think you're right talking about Ali, and it seems like he's going to be somebody who, if you fancy a bit more of a cheap midfield, is a good option. I'm much more attracted by Son, though. I think I'm going to put Son in this week.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
I'd have loved to have got both of them in, but I couldn't quite afford Son at the time.
Well, I'm going to make the big decision to drop Mane, I think.
Are you?
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. Which, considering he's had a really good season so far, but I just think it's 2 million in the bag. I get Son, who I really, really, really want heading into this Christmas period. I think he's going to do really well. And then I've got 2 million to play with in the future week. I'm going to make 2 transfers this week because I have transfers carried over from previous weeks. My other one, I'm skipping ahead here. My other one is throwing in the West Ham goalkeeper, who's 4 million. He's
David Martin.
Yeah. Who had a good game at the weekend.
I don't know if he had a good game, but that last minute clip of him celebrating and crying on the pitch. I bloody love sport.
It's good as well. You see him going to the stand afterwards and give his.
You don't get that with like going to the museum or doing a painting, do you? That's what sport does.
Yeah. So he's still 4 million. I thought he might have gone up in price because people realised, shit, a 4 million goalkeeper is actually playing football, which rarely ever happens. You always just throw in Stekelenburg, whatever his name is, and or Button.
Button, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's West Ham, though, isn't it?
I know it is. You
I
can't.
think they just fluked it this week.
So who have they got? Who have they got up next?
Well,
have they got some favourable fixtures?
They do. I think they don't have bad fixtures. They don't have great fixtures.
Is it?
Yeah, they've got Arsenal coming up.
Wolves,
I mean, Arsenal are shit.
Wolves
Arsenal away, I'd like to point out. So complete write-off of a match for Arsenal. They do have an empty game week coming up. But the thing is,
got Southampton.
Yeah, Southampton afterwards.
Liverpool, 21st of December.
Gameweek
18.
Called off.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, is that because of the
World Cup? Yeah.
I think Martin had his moment, and that is his career highlight. But he's worse than Roberto. Yeah, that's why he's not played.
I thought
forever.
it was like like an academy product or something. Like when I saw him, I genuinely had no idea who he was, and I thought who is he, like Benjamin Button or something? He looked about 18 years old, and I was like looking at him.
No,
I was like,
doesn't.
Didn't you think?
No,
might have just been me then. I generally thought that's why he was running off and like hugging his
I'm all
dad
for
and
romanticising the moment, but no.
Yeah, I thought it was like his first game for West Ham. It was like
it was.
It was his first game for West Ham.
But
yeah.
as a young player, instead of being a veteran who'd been around the block and been at every club. So
33 years old.
Yeah,
well, 33 is still young, isn't it?
He looks good for a 33-year-old, don't you think?
He does. Doesn't look like an 18.
Quite young. He doesn't look like a player that's at the end of his career, like Rob Green, for instance, who
Yeah, that's true.
You can see the stress.
He is a very young-looking 33-year-old.
Thank you. Come on.
That is youthful.
It is, yeah.
Either way, great moment. Terrible choice for fantasy.
So I'm going to throw him in for a cheeky 3 weeks or so. Pope's got some terrible fixtures coming up. Does my number one goalkeeper? So I need someone in there to compensate. Burnley aren't having a great run either.
No, they're not, are they?
No, downturned a little bit from their decent form. But overall, I'm actually quite happy with my team at the moment. It's helped that I had that great week where I flew over Dave, left him for dust. And in the last couple of weeks while I've been off on annual leave, I've been chugging along all right. I was saying earlier on that before the show that my choice of captain this week was an accidental choice, but it turned out very nicely for me with Alexander-Arnold racking up double points, cheeky 2 assists, 20 points for him, which is all right. I would not have chosen him as my captain this week. Like, did you both go for Mane as your captains?
Yeah.
I would have done the same thing.
When I was checking your team on Saturday, I was like, who's he transferred in? What's he? I was like, Alexander-Arnold, you crafty bastard. How have you done that? And then, he dropped 2 assists. And
it was beautiful.
Hat off to you, mate.
Yeah, worked out quite nicely.
Fortune favours the brave.
It does, yeah.
Or the unprepared.
But yeah, overall, I'm quite happy with how my team's chugging along. I'm now, I think, 10 points behind you.
Yeah. I think you're Doomy this week. You've not got a chance, mate, but I think Miles will.
I would be happy for Miles to catch you. It'd be so sweet.
So would I.
Like a victory for me.
I've been top for so long that I'm perfectly happy to share it about. It's Christmas,
There could be a lot of change over the next 2 months because there's a lot of game weeks over Christmas. There's a lot happening. There's I think back to 4 weeks ago. I was gone. I was nowhere near.
Yeah, and you've done remarkable.
Yeah.
I think I can make it back.
But yeah, I'll let someone else have a little go at the top. It's fine.
So for our listeners, Sam is on 775 points. I'm on 765 points. Dave is on 718 points.
You cracked the 700 mark, mate. Welcome to the 700 club.
It's good to be here. To be fair, we're all doing all right though. 700's
we're not pretty
respectable,
ourselves.
Isn't it?
Whereabouts are you in the world now, Dave?
Where am I in the world? Good question. Overall, 1,700,000. That's that one, isn't it?
Yeah,
722,000.
Yeah, that's shit.
Come on.
Look
at this though. Look at this.
It's not something to be proud
Friday
of.
night football, top of that league. There's only me in it, but.
Looking at our UK Fantasy Football Show League, which all our listeners can join by typing in the code NHC4WZ, our top point scorer so far, 880 points he's on, is Graham Wilshaw. The Shola system, I like that name, a little bit of a pun, and also includes Shola Amiobi's name. So he's got 63 points, 880 so far. That is quite impressive. We're talking about where you are in the world, 1.7 million. Graham, looking at this, quick scrolling down this page here, he's 1,900th in the entire world.
That's tidy, isn't it?
Yeah, so someone in our league is doing very, very well globally. So fair play, Graham. You're doing great. And we just need to try and catch up to that sort of amount. We're quite a way off, though. Got our own little league going on. Right, then moving on then to the managerial changes that have happened in the last couple of weeks. Since we took a little break, a couple of weeks off, I think, was it?
Yeah.
A week off? There's actually been quite a few changes. The big one, I guess, being, well, two big ones, I suppose, but Pochettino going, which I certainly wouldn't have predicted if you'd asked me this a couple of weeks ago. Pochettino has been ruthlessly cut. Jose Mourinho has come in. What are our hot takes on this managerial change?
It's exactly what Tottenham needed. You know, Poch had lost the dressing room. I think he peaked with his final in the Champions League final, and it wasn't there. So get Jose in, and he appears to be loving it. I think I expect the Belgians, the two centre halves, will re-sign, which they would have zero intention of doing under Pochettino. Brilliant. Go for it. The scoring, which, you know, is quite a bit of a change for Mourinho. He's obviously changed as well because he's got a new backroom team in. He's nicked a few of the coaches from Lille, so he's reinvigorated himself. I think they will finish. I've already said United are going to finish third, so I think they will finish fourth. But I think they will easily make the Champions League. I think they will. I reckon they'll make quarters of the actual Champions League.
I think they'll do well in the Champions League under Mourinho. I don't think they'll get top four though. I think the Man City, Liverpool, Leicester are all better than Spurs. They've got that advantage already at this point. Chelsea, I still think they didn't have a great result at the weekend, losing to West Ham, but I still think that they will topple Tottenham for that fourth spot. But he's definitely what they need at the moment. I agree with you there. I think the thing with Mourinho is always beyond that first 2 years.
Oh yeah, it'll blow up in a year and a half.
Yeah.
I absolutely know that. But I think, you know, losing Poch is a big change for them. He's been around for, 5.5 years, and he's done a remarkable job. I think if you're going to make a change, Jose is arguably the biggest, you know, the yin to Pochettino's yang. So give it a whirl. See what happens.
Almost matches where the club's been at, you know, with the move to the new stadium and everything. They've elevated themselves up.
New
to
stame.
They
need to stop talking about that.
Above. Why?
Because that's all they talk about. Oh, it's got a cheese room. Brilliant.
Sound a bit like jealous, isn't it? Like have Tottenham taken Man United's place at the top table? Do you think they've got a big name manager now? They've got a huge stadium, excellent facilities, great social media team. No, I don't know about that. But yeah, I think it's right. It's quite a nice fit. I think initially we're all quite into Mourinho, aren't we? When he gets a new job. I almost feel like he gets a bit bored of himself sometimes, a bit further down the line, like a year down the line, and he starts to wind himself up a bit. Yeah. Gets a bit frustrated with everything and the questions he's getting asked.
He's tried to rebrand himself. I haven't fallen for this rebrand at all. Like this whole, I've got my new team and I'm a changed man. No, you're not. Back 6 months from now, you'll be a miserable fucker.
People don't change.
I think a lot of it will depend on the transfer windows, this January one and the summer one, because he was booting off at United that he wasn't able to purchase the players that he wanted, that the money wasn't there, that, you know, because apparently he wanted Maguire a year earlier, that he was being Woodward was getting in the way. Levy has not spent very much for Tottenham at all recently. I think it'll be more of the same, so I'd just like to be interested to see how he reacts to that.
Yeah,
Paulie is the answer.
Paulie is definitely the answer. Yeah, so.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah, well, I like Mourinho being involved in football, you know, an awful lot, because from a content creator's perspective, from people who work for football websites, he's great. You know, he's always got a good quote. He's always coming out with stuff. He's always got talking points. You love him or hate him, you've got an opinion about Mourinho, don't you?
Always,
you want to see what he's got to say, and I think he's while maybe not good for the sport is probably the wrong thing. He's certainly good for news websites like Goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've got no complaints with him coming back. I just don't see it ending well. No Mourinho managerial term ever ends well, but. For them this season, it's already clearly having a positive impact. And Pochettino, it reminded me a bit of the situation with Leicester, actually.
I was just about to say, getting rid of Ranieri.
Yeah, well, Ranieri had a brilliant season, won them the league, but if you've lost the dressing room, you've lost the dressing room. And if anything, it felt like they already gave Pochettino some time there, because it's been clear he's lost the dressing room for a while, but they gave him a couple of months or a few weeks, and it's just not improved. And I think once you get to that point, there's just no coming back, and you may as well just cut cord, start again, and that's what they've done.
Yeah.
Would you take him at United though, Pochettino?
Phew, I was going to say Mourinho. I was like, no. TBC. I think ask me that again on the next one after Man United have played Spurs and then City. I think it's not looking great, but you beat Spurs, theoretically we're back in 5th. Lose to Spurs, lose to City, we're 16th.
So a lot hinges on this game on Wednesday then.
Hugely so, yeah.
United at home, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if you can, and it is annoyingly the kind of match that United will up themselves for. They won't be able to beat Villa, won't be able to beat Watford, but then they play one of the top 6 teams and they come away with a result.
It was Liverpool you played at home.
Yeah.
Got a decent
beat Leicester, beat Chelsea, lost to Palace. So that's just what they're like at the moment. So I could easily see them squawking it 2-1 or getting battered 4-0. And I think Ollie is good for the club, but I think the Sunday match just gone showed they don't really look that coached.
No,
and that's what he's there for. Do you know what they look like? A Mike Phelan coached team.
Yeah. I mean, the contrast of what Leicester have done versus what Man United have done is night and day. Rodgers come in with a plan. He's executed the plan with a good team. Man United, I don't rate their team overall, their squad, but still they are better than that team is currently doing.
Big time.
They should be doing better. So,
the difference at Leicester is they had young players who are just they come in and listen to the manager, don't they? And they're easily adapted to that kind of regime, if you like, as soon as they come in. So I suppose it's the difficulty I think at United is because they've got players who've been there a while as well, and it's very much like transitional, isn't it? Leicester was almost set up a little bit for Rodgers. It's nice that I wonder if Pochettino came in at United, he's almost got the same problems that Ollie's got at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. I think I think I've decided for this week at least that we should give Ollie the rest of this year and up to the end of this season.
Yeah.
And then he's got a couple of transfer windows. He's got rid of even more deadwood and hopefully bought 3 more centre midfielders in January would be nice. And see if he can do something. If he can't, he can't. But that would mean I think they lose out on Pochettino.
I wouldn't be massively surprised if Solskjaer's gone this time next week.
Yeah.
Or at least on the brink, because I can't see you winning. I could maybe see you getting a draw against Spurs, but I still think Mourinho's got the edge there with Spurs and City. You're away to City, aren't you? So
yeah,
that's not going to end well.
No. I could easily see it like that. I think I know people always go, since he's become permanent manager, and look at his 2 records of being the caretaker versus the permanent. I think you should just lump them all in together, really, because he was the manager. But from his taking over permanently, he's got 10 less points in as many games as Emery's got. So he's not doing a good enough job.
No. And we just touched there on Emery, who I think it's safe to say has been on the brink for a little while. Unlike Pochettino, where he was doing badly, and Pochettino had these years of experience and sort of goodwill that built up at Spurs. Emery just never had that. The Arsenal fans have clearly turned on him. I think it was inevitable, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charles Watts, our Arsenal correspondent, has been banging the Emery out drum for a couple of months now, because he watches them week in, week out, speaks to a lot of people, and he said it's not there. Every element of it, the team selection, the tactics, the seemingly lack of cohesion with everything, it had to be done. They've done the right thing. Whether Lundberg is the right guy to see them through, because I think one of the reasons they delayed getting rid of Emery a little bit was because they had no successor in mind, and then it got that bad.
I think that's that's the reason a lot of managers stay in the job, because they don't really have a contingency in place.
Yeah. So if you say Lundberg's got it till the end of the season, theoretically, is he going to be great? I know he's got all his coaching badges, well done, but he could just be the Arsenal Ole. The arsehole, if you will.
I honestly think the worst thing for Arsenal that could possibly happen right now is Lundberg go on a winning streak and then get that job full time, and then they're going to be back to the Ole situation with Man United. I think just let him steady the ship a little bit, maybe get fans on side a bit. Hopefully they don't just lose all the games, but they need a manager with experience at the top level who will hopefully help to certainly. I wouldn't say a Mourinho, because I don't think Mourinho would have been a fit for that, but someone who can come in, make an impact, build on, and hopefully do better than Emery.
Yeah, if you want a hot take,
go on.
By 10 days' time, Brendan Rodgers will be Man United manager.
Will be Man United manager.
So obviously he was lifting his skirt up, flashing his knickers at the weekend, saying, "Oh, I've got a buyout in my contract." Everyone just assumed that was for Arsenal. I'm just saying.
There's the curveball.
I mean, United do like to go in for other people's targets. Usually it's players.
Well, it's usually Man City's targets.
Yeah, usually Man City's targets, but maybe.
Sorry, Arno sat there going, "Oh, just pretend we're in for him this week, lads," and then Woodward comes along going, "We'll have 50 million on him."
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
That'd be all right, though. I think that's a better option than Pochettino, actually. I don't know why. For me, it just feels a bit more... I could kind of see that working at United.
Yeah.
Rodgers. I could see it.
And Rodgers, you can tell Rodgers has got that ego where he's just
100%.
dying. He's just dying for an Arsenal or a Man United.
And then he can go, it would be media heaven. He'd have to get a new... just like the picture in his house and the envelopes. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, he'd be there. First day of training. One of you boys is going to let me down before the end of the season. I've got it in this envelope.
Well,
you've done this before.
Yeah. Why don't you just tell us now, Brendan, so we can work on finding a way about not letting you down?
Yeah. But to be fair, he's done a great job at Leicester, hasn't he? And I mean... why not?
I don't. If I was him, I think Arsenal wouldn't appeal to me at all. I would just prefer to stick at Leicester. I think Leicester have got a better team than them anyway. But Man United, I mean, it's Man United. And
Man United do have young players, though, now. They do have... there's a lot that can be moulded there. And it was like I was saying to you, when you were like, Ole shouldn't be making that much, doesn't need to make that much of a difference. And we were kind of arguing the case that managers can lift a group of players. Because I think you're at a stage where it's just the player's fault. Am I right, really?
No.
You were it. He was, wasn't he? He was kind of like a bit like, it's the group of players. You can't really do much more with them. This is the team. This is the United team. They're performing at their level.
Are not good enough as a collective. Like when you've got Fred and Pereira in midfield, that's not the dynamic Brazilian duo everyone dreams about, is it?
No, but they can be elevated by some decent coaching.
Yeah, absolutely.
A good manager,
a club structure that is built towards progression and success on the pitch. I think Brandon Williams coming in at left backs looks smart. Shaw's been off just full of chocolate. I don't know when he'll
busting his advent calendar open.
Just picture like Solskjaer coming into the canteen and Shaw sat there with his mouth full of arms. I go, Luke,
spit it out.
Have you eaten all 24 days already?
Oh God.
So I think that's good. McTominay's great. Rashford, James, Wan-Bissaka is good at tackling. Terrible at attacking. Maguire looks all right. Twanzebe, get him in next to him. So Lindelof.
I see Maguire starting to get on social, at least. He's starting to get some of that kind of Phil Jones treatment a bit, where people just single him out. I can't believe we paid 80 million for this guy. And which is, at Leicester, he was never seen in that way, was he?
I'm happy at that, though, because I'll get something right for the season. So I predicted before the season that Maguire would be the flop of the season.
Yeah, I've had him in my team for about 4 or 5 weeks now. And each time I go to sub him out, I'm like, well, isn't he supposed to score loads of headers from corners? I was like, he's got to score one before this half the fucking year's done.
What really puts me out is like football teams that can't take a corner. Like this is one of the set pieces they must practice in training. And it happens with my team, Huddersfield. We've got a guy who comes over, takes a corner, and it goes out the other side, and he might do it 3 times in a match. You're a professional footballer, for God's sake. Yeah, just put it in the box.
An hour out of like the 3 days you have to work a day, just try to kick it from a standing position, controlled conditions, from a static position to make it land on another bit.
Yep.
An hour a day.
How hard can it be?
I was thinking at the weekend though, how annoying it would be trying to mark Van Dijk for a corner, or just being in that box, not even the person marking him, because you just know it's going to get on his head and he's going to direct it off his head into the back of the net.
Yeah, and you're looking over and you think, Trent's taking the corner as well, so you know it's going to be a decent delivery.
It's not even like hard to predict. You know what's going to happen. He's going to whip it in. Van Dijk's going to head it, and it just comes off time and time again.
What I thought was Rashford's goal, but he still managed to miss it, and luckily Heaton came to the rescue. I'm I despise short corners. Nothing good ever comes from them. But the one they did yesterday was actually really good. Pereira's cross was absolutely scintillating. But as he took it, I was like, well, why have we not taken all your other corners like that? It was brilliant, mate. And that was moving.
I love it when the crowd groan when it goes to a short corner. Oh, put it in the box. Before anything's even happened. I'm probably one of them though as well. But then I realised you can't put it in the box either. I
did read a book about like some tactical tomfoolery, and they were saying how I think it was Mourinho said it was in England. He always found it really weird how fans cheered when they got a corner. Like the chances of scoring from a corner is like 2%, but we're just hardwired into we've got a chance here. But yeah, you should just try and shoot from a corner. Don't bother trying to cross it. Yeah, just try and shoot.
Unless I once saw Chris Waddle do that, scored straight from a corner against Huddersfield for Bradford City.
Yeah.
Straight in from the corner.
It was always a
Peter
Beardsley special if we're going back to the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Scored a couple.
It's a hell of a technique to be able to do that.
I'm just looking at the other manager that got sacked while we were not recording, which is Quique Sanchez Flores. Watford, rock bottom of the Premier League.
Go on, Watford.
So they are really propping it up. 8 points so far. After 14 games, 1 win. It's not looking good.
8 points after 14. Is that Watford or Delafeu?
Both have managed that. They are 6 points adrift from safety right now. Watford, just beneath. Well, it's Everton who is 17th. Everton are another one who, one of these podcasts, one of these days, we're going to be talking about Marcus Silva getting cut.
Yeah. I think it could be in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
How's he still got his job?
Yeah.
Madness. But
they're bombing hard.
Watford, at least they've got Leicester next. Nice easy game on Wednesday.
I'm
just looking at the table. I cannot believe Tottenham are 5th now. I swear the last time I looked at the table,
exactly. If United had won, beat Villa, they'd be 5th now. And everyone would be like, oh, Ole in, Ole's at the wheel. Yeah.
9th instead.
Is that still 4 wins?
United?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bleak, isn't it?
That is bleak when you see it like that, isn't it? 4 victories. There's a lot of teams there, so
yeah,
they're not doing
don't
great.
Pay attention to the table. It's fake news, mate. Have you owned any Watford players this season, Miles?
Not in the fantasy game, I don't think.
Cause I thought everyone would have got them. I had 1 or 2 at the start. I had, I think I had Cathcart, and then just thought, what am I doing? Cut him loose after about a week. It might have even been my first sub out. I toyed with the idea of Delafeu at the start of the season. I thought, that's a ridiculous idea, do that.
On the draft game that I play, I had Sarr in, who Watford signed in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
And he did absolutely nothing for the first few, he's done barely anything at all, really. But he was doing so poorly for me that I just dropped him straight away. But he's the only player I've had any attention towards for Watford this season. But they've been dreadful. I mean, I can't believe you have Delafeu, to be honest.
I know. If I could get out of it now, I probably would. I'd look to transfer him out. I might even do so. But it's like I said to you, it looked like they might have had a slight upturn, didn't it, on those fixtures when we
did like 2 good games.
Yeah, but it was obviously short lived. And now they've sacked the manager, which is a bit like.
They do love sacking managers to Watford.
What's Javi Gracia doing these days?
Yeah, bring him back in.
Just recycle and recycle.
They're just messing with the head. Yeah, come on. It's all right. You can come back in now. You know this group.
They can say that every time.
Yeah.
We can segue nicely then onto our teams that we're going to currently look at for Game Week 15. So I mentioned earlier I'm going to make 2 subs. I'm going to bring in Son for Mane, and I'm going to bring in Martin, who you've slagged off, for Stecklenburg. And then at least I have a backup goalkeeper that's playing for now, and I can mix and match with Pope a little bit because he's got a bleak 2 weeks of fixtures coming up. So he's not a long-term goalkeeper, but it's 4 million, so who cares? So that's all I'm doing this week. What are you guys looking at doing?
I think I'm gonna stick as I am.
No transfers?
No, the only one I'm looking at really is Heaton in goal. I think he's a good keeper, but he's got 3 clean sheets this season. I could probably do a bit better. I've been really tempted by Gazaniga, but Tottenham haven't conceded 2 the last 2 Premier League matches. I thought Mourinho would at least solidify them in that regard. So yeah, I think I'll leave him this season just so I've got 2 for next week. So I've got Suinju, Maguire, Toby Alderweireld at the back. Going a bit Tottenham heavy now. And then Pulisic, Mane, De Bruyne, Martial and Ali in midfield. And up front, Abraham and Vardy. I doubt Abraham's going to play. So, Lundstram at home against Newcastle or Ayew at home against Bournemouth. That could be the difference between top and second.
How's Martial doing nowadays? I've not seen Man United the last couple of weeks. He's still in my team. He's got 2 points the last 2 weeks.
He's not been great.
No.
He's got all. There was a couple of wonderful moments where he skinned a couple of players, drove past them. You're like, wow, the French Messi. But yeah, he just looks. He doesn't look like he enjoys playing football, if I'm honest.
Really? He goes through those patches, doesn't he?
Yeah, but then you can guarantee when you least expect it, he'll go and score a hat trick and set up 2. Yeah. I think for the price, he's still good value because he's playing up front as the number 9, and I can't see why, especially with given the United squad depth, he wouldn't be. So yeah, I mean he's not scoring at the rate Rashford is. Rashford's doing brilliantly, and I really want to try and get him in for Ayew. So my forward line would have the acronym of VAR.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. The way it's lined up at the moment, it would actually be Avra, but I would make it work.
Yeah, Abraham's on a frustrating one, isn't it, at the moment?
How long is he
out for? It just
is a TBC.
Like red, isn't he? Or
just
orange.
Hip injury is what it says on the site. I'm not dropping him because it would just cost me so much more to bring him back because he's gone up so much in price since I picked him. So I'm going to leave him there for a bit.
I might have to almost just to bring in some points somewhere. I just feel a bit like I feel like every week now I'm in almost a difficult
Mary,
position where it's like my arm's being twisted by someone else being it's like Pope, you see, having Pope in there. This with Man City and who've they got? Man City and someone else.
It's someone really good. The next
Tottenham,
yeah.
And then they got Newcastle. But yeah, so I could do with swapping him out, but
he's going to get lots of save points.
Yeah,
it's one of those situations where that as long as they don't concede 4 or 5, if they concede 1 or 2, he's going to get a shitload of save points. It's just how many they actually bag. I think Man City, you'd think they'll score a few there. But we've had some games this season, haven't we, where I think everyone thought that they were going to not let 10 past Southampton after Leicester not 9 past them. But then they only conceded 1 in that game in the end.
Yeah.
Did really well. So Man City aren't always turning up and scoring.
Well, they 2-2 against Newcastle isn't.
No, it's not great.
Anyone was expecting at all, is it? So,
no.
And I actually took David Silva out and put Pulisic in, expecting Chelsea would do better than they did
against West Ham.
Yeah, against West Ham, but that didn't really come to fruition.
You're one of the few people who's kept faith with Sterling.
Yeah, because because he still does play for Man City every time, and you could imagine he's pivotal. But saying that, De Bruyne is probably the better pick of Man City players.
I know that. A lot of other people know that. It's just you're a few 7 games.
I'm putting fires out in my team every week. I don't have the luxury of being able to. I'm kind of like, there's a lot of stuff I know, but I can't do anything about.
What I was disappointed with Sterling for, when he's trying to position himself as a potential Ballon d'Or candidate, is that last chance that he had against Newcastle, where he should have been, making that onion bag Russell, or at least sliding it across to whoever was running in, but he just tapped it to the keeper. I was really disappointed with that. He should have been absolutely burying that.
We have seen that from him though throughout his career, haven't we? That just lack of ruthlessness in front of goal.
I thought he got past it. But I was really disappointed to see that. He's cracking, but that's just that little differentiator, I think.
Yeah, I've still got KDB in cheaper, getting more points.
It's a good option. It's definitely.
And he smashed that volley at the weekend like the budget Paul Scholes that he is.
Yeah, as a Newcastle fan, it's hard to watch, but at the same time, you got to appreciate that sort of goal. So
it was
good.
Class. Keeper got a little touch on it, but good effort.
Another one actually in a decent performing team that's in my side, but I probably would like to swap out for, say, James Maddison would be Tielemans. Having seen him, I don't think he is that key player in the Leicester team. I don't think he is that guy who's going to rack up loads of points necessarily. No. I think there's other players in the Leicester team who are much better options than him. So
no, I disagree.
Tielemans would be one.
Compared to Maddison. So he's got 5 less points than Maddison.
But I think it's because...
And he's 0.9 of a million. You're seduced by the sexiness of Maddison because he takes the odd good free kick.
I'm all for Maddison. He's in my team, so I'm team Maddison.
He's got a trendy haircut that you partially tried to style yourself on.
No, it's nothing like that. I watched the game. I watched the Leicester game, and I thought Tielemans is just a bit weak. He gets himself in really good positions sometimes, but doesn't deliver. For me, it'd be I'd like to swap him out for Maddison or potentially another midfielder who could rack up some more points. I just don't think he's going to be one of those at the end of the season we're looking at as like, oh, he's definitely a fantasy winner.
No.
It's all about fantasy team.
No, I don't think he's a winner, but he will be top 10 for midfielders.
He is
top 10.
How much is Tielemans? Yeah, he is, but I seem to remember, did he have a week where he got 2 goals or something? Or
yeah, so does everyone.
Yeah, but it was just like one match, and then there was loads of really kind of disappointing.
He's had 2 weeks where he's got double figures. He's got 12 in 1 week and he got 11 in another week.
Yeah, was that against Bournemouth and Southampton?
He's got a lot of 2s and 3s. I think his points, he's always got at least 2 points, but
surely Maddison must have done pretty much the same, but 5 more. 3, 5. Yeah, it's a bloody same.
It's a bit more consistent. Maybe I could just see him doing some more before the end of the season. But again, I don't know. You start getting these little things, don't you, in your team? Like a team that's not quite firing. I'm looking for who's to blame. But
I think you'd be mad to swap him out to spend 0.9 of a million more for what is so far 5 points.
Got big decisions.
It's not really. I've got the option anyway.
Do you remember when you used to listen to our
advice? Todd Canwell
pre-season and ended up top, and then stopped listening to it?
I don't think that's what happened. Actually, you're a revisionist.
Let's wrap this up then. Dave, Sam, thanks very much for joining us today. Listeners, you can get in touch by tweeting your fantasy football thoughts with a hashtag UKFFS.
Don't forget to subscribe on Apple, follow on Spotify, or however you listen to podcasts on your favourite platform. Leave a review if you liked it, and if you didn't, what are you still doing here? Check out Goal for your daily dose of football news from the Premier League and around the world. Thanks for listening.